Hello, and welcome to Music Mondays number 2. So last week we talked about some of the most common business structures for musicians, or anyone really. This week, I want to talk about something that each band or artist or actor or writer needs to think about early on: your name. Now, obviously, getting this right's important. After all, your name and any logo you use to identify yourself is your brand. A name turned Farouk Bulsara into Freddie Mercury, Saul Hudson into Slash, and On a Friday into Radiohead. If you're a solo artist using your own name, you should think about any other areas you might want to use your name. Do you want to pursue acting or modeling under that name? If so, you could check with Equity, one of the actors' unions, or SAG, the Screen Actors Guild, or Spotlight if you're in the UK. Many of those organizations will only allow one person with each name to avoid confusion. I ran into this myself when I was a stage actor and had to take on a stage name when I joined Equity in the US. If you're a band, you'd want to make sure that you don't infringe on any existing registered trademark or be accused of passing off. One possible place to start is trying to get the domain name and the social media handles. Check and see if the .com domain is available. If it's not available, take a look at what the website under that name is. It may be completely unrelated and still available for your act, but be careful. Simply getting the domain or the socials does not mean you are safe from infringing on others. You can also run a free trademark search on the Global Brand Database run by WIPO, the World Intellectual Property Organization. Again, just because a name has been used for one thing doesn't mean it can't be used for something else, but the search could give you some warning that the name you are using could be contested. Lots of labels will insist on running a trademark search and will make you change your name if there's a chance of infringement. A little change early on can avoid a huge expense later on. If you decide to register a trademark on your name or your logo, you also need to think about how it could be used. There are lots of categories to choose from when registering a trademark. Are you going to use the trademark on merchandise, start a fashion line, beer, gin, coffee? You should get advice from a lawyer and make sure you're protected. Passing off is using a name or logo that either the same or similar to an existing group that could cause confusion or a loss of either profit or reputation of the existing act. Really important. The previously existing group needs to have what's called goodwill, sort of meaning an established reputation. There are lots of examples of this, from Liberty X, who had to add the X because there was already a group called Liberty, to One Direction, who was sued by an existing US band of the same name, settling out of court. Finally, these things are not written in stone. You can play around and change your name and logo, especially early on. After all, Queen was once Smile, Green Day was once Sweet Children, David Jones was already performing when he changed his name to David Bowie, Peter Hernandez became Bruno Mars, and Declan McManus became Elvis Costello. Next time, we'll look at one of the first agreements you should put in place, your band agreement. Is there anything you want to talk about? Let me know. See you next week.